some days from now, we'll know where the winds of change are actually blowing. But for now, we also have some breaking inputs. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reacted as far as One Nation, One Election is concerned. He said that the cabinet has accepted the recommendations of the high-level committee on simultaneous elections. I compliment our former President Shri Ram Nath Kovind ji for spearheading this effort and consulting a wide range of stakeholders. This is an important step towards marking our democracy, and in fact even more vibrant and participative is what Prime Minister Modi has had to say. Let's quickly go across to Pallavi, who will bring us more perspective. Pallavi, I think the emphasis has been on consultation with a wide range of stakeholders, because we've just had a discussion and everybody is talking about it, that is the reason why it's not democratic, because you've not had too many stakeholders, which is a lie.
Absolutely, Akanksha. Of course, there was a Kovind panel, and there were people who were representatives from different political parties and political thinking who were very much a part of that panel. And there were several rounds of meeting which took place. Mr. Kharge had also refused to go for that meeting, as has many other opposition party leaders. But each one of them gave a letter, and as everyone is now putting out, whether it was Mamata Banerjee, whether it was Mallikarjun Kharge, all of them rejecting the idea of ONOP, which is evidence enough that they had an opinion which was incorporated. In fact, if you look at the report of the Kovind committee, it does put in the dissenting notes as well. So therefore, for anyone to say that people were not taken on board, there was no debate and discussion, that's not true. The second important thing is, Akanksha, is that whenever this ONOP comes up for discussion inside the parliament, for passing in the parliament, again there's going to be a debate and discussion. So, every step there is going to be a debate and discussion. And therefore, to say that this is being bought in an arbitrary manner or it's going to hurt the federal spirit is incorrect.
Pallavi, take us through the kind of attacks that have been launched by the opposition. We've seen TMC also talk about why weren't Maharashtra election dates also announced along with Jammu and Kashmir. If they are talking about going ahead with simultaneous elections, why not start with Maharashtra?
See, we recently heard Mr. Arvind Kejriwal mention the fact that Delhi elections should be held with Maharashtra in November. No clarity on that, but now they're going to use this narrative to embolden themselves. But yes, the first reaction which has come in is from Derek O'Brien from the Trinamool Congress, where he said that if you really want to walk the talk, then you should have held Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Haryana as well as Jammu and Kashmir together. Since you're not doing that, it is very clear that you have your own political reasons and strategy and plan, which is why you're selectively using the idea of one nation, one poll. Right. Congress in a press conference has already rejected the entire idea.
All right, let me also quickly bring in Payal, who's joining us as well on the phone line. Payal, I think the point that Prime Minister has always made is that this is in the best interest of the people of India, and that it is a democratic choice, and also not to forget that there's no political motive behind it.
Yes, what we're given to understand, Akanksha, by way of top sources, is that Prime Minister, in fact, elaborately told his cabinet colleagues that there is no political motive, there is no political reason for bringing such a reform. Essentially, it's coming from the voice of the people. People have been demanding this. And like Ashwini Vaishnav was saying in the cabinet briefing, that a lot of youth have reached out to the government asking them to come up with these reforms as well. So more importantly, the Prime Minister, in fact, also asked his cabinet colleagues to go out and reach out to the people, educate them about this reform, why it is important in the current context, in the future context as well. That is something which is elaborated, and once again he said that this is the will of the people, there is no political motive to it, there is no other motive to this as well. So that's the duty of the cabinet, to in fact go out and reach out to people, spread a wider message of consultancy, and tell people that because of constant elections, there are many things that take a backseat, especially governance. And for example, in a case of law and order situation, the Prime Minister in fact even made a mention of a couple of examples, saying that if a particular center needs a hospital to be built immediately in case of any urgent situation, sometimes because of the model code of conduct being put into place, that is not going to be possible. So obviously the will of the people, the fact that the government has been elected to work for the cause of the people, that should take center stage. So in fact this is going to be beneficial in that respect in a big way. That's what the Prime Minister really spoke about in his cabinet meeting, and what we are also given to understand by way of top sources, Akanksha, is that everybody lauded the efforts of the government, everybody lauded the Prime Minister for motivating them to come up with a thing like this, including the alliance partners who were present in the cabinet.
Thanks to you, Payal and Pallavi, for bringing in all those precious inputs and for putting the entire story into perspective for us. And with that, it's time for a quick break here on Plain Speak. But coming up next, 12 have been killed, over 3,000 injured as pager explosions have struck Hezbollah. We'll be, in fact, deep diving into pager explosions as Hezbollah has blamed Israel and vowed retaliation for pager explosions. That will be our topic of discussion in just a bit.